All right, San Antonio Spurs lose 120 to 125 to the Golden State Warriors. I'm not going to say we deserved to lose so much, but Spurs definitely earned this loss. We had plenty chances to win the game or make it close down the stretch, even to the last couple plays of the game, honestly, and Golden State just out executed us down the stretch, and it's not a gigantic surprise to be honest. Golden State is a team that's won 4 championships. The Spurs have won 5 championships as an organization, but we don't have a lot of playoff experience on our team, and it really showed up in this game. Just my initial reactions from first watching the game. Draymond's defense on Victor Wembanyama was amazing. That's kind of the type of player you want to have guarding Wemby, a 6'7", 6'8" guy that has a really strong base, and he can just kind of direct Wembanyama into the back line where Quentin Post and these other guys can try to help out defending Wemby. Draymond didn't shut him down one-on-one by any means. Wemby still scored 31 points, but if you watch the game, you could see Draymond was doing a great job on Wemby. We'll get to the exact stats in a second, but I know Wemby had, I believe, 8 turnovers. So the Spurs, our worst problems so far this season have been our turnovers and our lack of defense on the 3-point line. I'd say another one of our worst problems is our lack of motion on offense. We'll see. It was really bad this game, honestly. Maybe Wemby catches the ball. Maybe De'Aaron Fox will catch the ball. And we have Vassell, Champagnie, one's in the corner, one's on the wing. Then we have Harrison Barnes, whoever it is, spaced out on the other corner. And then we're just trying to do like a two-man game, let De'Aaron Fox cook on an ISO. Maybe we run a pick and roll with Luke Cornett and De'Aaron Fox. We'll run the big man pick and roll with Wembanyama and Luke Cornett as the roll man. And our two-man game isn't bad. Wemby can run. He can run in the ISO. He can run pick and roll, pick and pop, and be effective. He can run the pick and roll with Cornette, and we saw that be very effective. Stephon Castle and Luke Cornett are becoming best friends. We saw a lot of nice connections between those two. But the problem is, it's not that we can't run a solid pick and roll or run a solid pick and pop and get a good look for Wemby or a good look for Luke Cornett. In my opinion, the problem is we're running this action in the middle of the floor and no one else is moving around outside. Just stand in the corner, stand on the wing, wait for the ball to swing around and get to them. And I feel like it kind of comes down to Mitch Johnson on that end. We just have to run a better offense because you see what we're running on offense, then the ball comes down to the other end, and you see Golden State running offense, and it's just fucking night and day. We'll just say what it is. We're not close to Golden State when it comes down to experience. That's totally fair to say. No one can argue with that. They're an experienced veteran championship winning team, but just just coaching wise, honestly, we're still a younger team. We're still finding out how to incorporate De'Aaron Fox into our offense. So I understand that, but we can do a lot more as far as just running motion off ball, just setting up some easy looks for De'Aaron Fox. We'll get into it later. Him and Wemby, a lot of the stuff they get, they're pretty much creating for themselves. We might run an after timeout play for Wemby or De'Aaron and try to get him a good look, but it's most frustrating with De'Aaron Fox. His past 2 games, he has 24 and 21 points on very good efficiency. He does struggle tonight. We'll get into the exact numbers in a second, but what would frustrate me is that De'Aaron Fox runs fucking 150 miles an hour. Just let Wemby catch the ball at the top of the key. Have De'Aaron Fox come off of like a double screen, come off of one screen. Have Wemby hand him the ball off. Have De'Aaron Fox turn around and he's going down into the paint at 150 miles an hour. Let Wemby roll next to him. And De'Aaron Fox would have so many opportunities to create plays for himself and his teammates. Again, I'm not an NBA coach, but I feel like we can use De'Aaron Fox's speed and his skill set a lot better than we have so far. But we'll get to the team numbers in a second here, or rather the player stats in a second. But we have 49 rebounds. Golden State has 40, so we out-rebound them. That's no surprise. They're a smaller team, and we out-rebound most teams, to be honest, with the size we have. 30 assists to 30 assists, so it's a wash there. Golden State has the 13 steals. We only have the 5. A lot of it wasn't Golden State just hounding us. Golden State is a great defense, so that's not to take away from their defense, but a lot of it is Wemby breaks down the first guy off the dribble, then he gets into the paint out of control and he makes the wrong pass. I saw a couple plays this game where Wemby comes off the screen and he tries to do like a one-handed hook pass over to the corner, and a couple of those got stolen as well. Um, honestly just comes down to us taking better care of the ball and comes down to De'Aaron Fox getting more comfortable, Wemby, just everybody getting more comfortable playing next to each other because you could see, again, back to my point, when Golden State's running offense, they just know exactly what's going on. Steph Curry knows where everyone's going to be. There's no confusion of whose role is what. I don't think there's a lot of confusion on our team as far as whose roles are what role, but people are trying to get better at playing their role. We're trying to learn where players are going to be before they're even there. I saw a play last game where De'Aaron Fox, he kicks the ball to the wing and Champagne's not even there. I don't know if Champagne was supposed to be there or if De'Aaron Fox just made a bad pass, maybe some of both, but our chemistry is lacking. Again, Stephon Castle and Cornette are getting some good chemistry. Sohan and Wemby, Sohan and Castle have good chemistry. And I'm sure De'Aaron Fox is going to have great chemistry with all these guys as the season goes on. But it's just a matter of time. We need those reps to develop chemistry. They have 15 turnovers. We have 20 turnovers. It was no surprise. Again, Wemby had like 8 turnovers just by himself. So, we're just working out the kinks. I'll go back. Golden State Warriors, their defense was excellent. Just really, really good defense. Draymond did such a great job making Wemby uncomfortable. And a lot of our turnovers came off of that. And Golden State, they're just a veteran defense. They're last year and this year, their staple really is their defense. And then see if Steph Curry can get hot. See if some of their 3-point shooters can get hot and win the game. And then sure enough, tonight, Steph Curry fucking drops 46 on us. And there's not a lot you can do when he drops 46, but that's not the reason we lost. The main reasons we lost were turning the ball over and a lack of motion on offense. We can do a lot better on offense and actually run some sets, but we'll get to that later. We shoot 49% from the field. They shoot 42% from the field, but our turnovers caught up with us. The 3-point shooting for Golden State caught up with us, and it wasn't enough to make up for that field goal percentage wasn't enough to make up for those other mistakes we made. 36% for us from 3, Golden State's 37%. Not a huge difference. We'll get into the shots, and I think Golden State shot a good amount more from 3 than we did, so that kind of was what made up for that. Golden State's 89% from the free throw line, we're 88%, so nothing crazy there. I will say this, I do think Golden State was getting a better whistle than we were. They were getting what I thought were a lot of ticky-tack calls that we might not get on the other end. But with that being said, Spurs, we still should have won this game if we would have executed on offense and executed down the stretch, executed better defensively going down the stretch because Steph Curry started to get loose and started to just absolutely cook us. But again, I do think the whistle was going better for Golden State than it was for the Spurs, but that's not the reason we lost the game. Moving on, we have 52 points in the paint. They have 22. We just absolutely shit on them. We have 30 more points in the paint than they do. And, it's not a surprise. Luke Cornette was catching a bunch of lobs. Stephon Castle was getting in the paint. De'Aaron Fox didn't have a great game, but most of the points he scored were in the paint. So it's crazy to score 30 more points in the paint than your opponent and still lose the game. But the game these days, it's really more based on 3-point shooting and taking care of the ball. We have 11 more second chance points than Golden State. We have 19 fast break points. They only have 7 fast break points. So again, coming back to my point, we usually win the second chance points. We usually win points in the paint. We usually win fast break points as well. We usually win all 3 of these categories. But then it comes down to the stretch and we can't execute in the half court offense. Down the stretch, first quarter, second quarter, we just don't really run an offense. We don't really have an offensive system. It's more just get the ball to Wemby, get the ball to De'Aaron Fox, get the ball to Stephon Castle. And you can win a lot of games like that, but that recipe's not going to get us a lot of playoff success. We can maybe win the first round just playing that way, just based on our talent. But once you get to the second round, conference finals, especially the finals, whenever we're able to make it there, you have to execute in the half court. And that's my biggest complaint about our team all season long is really not taking care of the ball in the half court. That leads to the turnovers, and the turnovers in the half court lead to us just not having a very good half court offense. And a lot of that can get ironed out if we just had more motion on offense, if we had an identity as a half court offense, and we really don't have one at this point in the season. Moving on to the player stats, Steph Curry has 46 points. He's 13 for 25. He's 5 for 16 from three. Stephon Castle did a great job guarding him beyond the arc, and then Steph Curry said, "All right, you are stopping me behind the arc. I'm a great player. I'm going to adjust." He started getting into the paint. He hit like a hook shot over Wemby, I think, in the third quarter. It was ridiculous. He banked in a couple mid-range shots as well. He knocked down a couple other mid-range jumpers. He was getting to his floater in the paint. He had a couple lefty finishes. Steph Curry's one of the best ball handlers of all time. He is the greatest shooter of all time. And people overlook it, but he's one of the best finishers in the paint of all time, at least for a small guard. His finger roll game, his floater game. Like I said, he made a right-handed hook over Wemby, which was ridiculous. And he's a giant reason they won. Steph Curry going off, but I'm not going to look at the other team and say, hey, that player went off. That's the reason we lost the game. Unless they just go stupid and score like 70 points and there's nothing we can do to stop them. There wasn't much we could do to stop Steph Curry, but we could have executed down the stretch and done a better job. And we still could have won this game. We lost this game due to our execution. Once you start becoming a better and better team, I consider the Spurs to be a very good team at this point. At this point so far in the season, and once you're a very good to great team, you don't look at what the other team did and say, hey, that's why we lost. You look at what you did as a team or what you failed to do, and that's the real reason you lost. And that's what happened today again. Just lack of execution in the half court and lack of taking care of the ball with all the turnovers we had. Jimmy Butler has 28 points and 8 assists. No turnovers for Butler, only one turnover for Stephen Curry. When you compare that to our star players, Wemby had 8 turnovers, De'Aaron Fox had 6 turnovers, so just not a good game for our star players. Let's see, as a total team, Golden State had 15 turnovers as a team. We had 20 turnovers as a team. Golden State, they knocked down 21 of their 57 threes. We knocked down 14 of our 39 threes. So again, the turnover battle, the three-point battle, and all that comes back to what I was saying, just being able to execute in the half court. Because we get these turnovers, Golden State's running back down to the other end, and they're getting wide open threes off of those turnovers. Going to Wembanyama's performance, 31 points, 15 rebounds, and 10 assists. So he has a triple-double. It's an amazing performance on that end. But the 8 turnovers, like I was saying before, he's not an offensive hub yet. Nikola Jokic is still the best player in basketball. I'm the biggest Spurs fan out there, but I'm not going to see the first 10 games of the season and say, hey, that guy is the best player in basketball. For Wemby to overtake Jokic as the best player in the NBA, he has to beat Jokic, outplay him in a playoff series and beat the Nuggets in the playoff series, or go on to the finals. Say we miss the Nuggets, the Thunder beat the Nuggets, and we're able to beat the Thunder in a playoff series with a spectacular performance from Wembanyama. That's when I'd be able to say, hey, Wemby's the best player in the world. But I don't want to say I'm not close to that, but when you watch the Nuggets, the impact Joker makes offensively is just so much greater than the impact that Wemby makes just overall as a player. Wemby's impact on defense is way greater, of course, but if you watch Nuggets games, Jokic is like right here, Wemby's like right here. They are close as players, but the thing with Jokic, you can just pass him the ball. He can be a hub offensively, where Wemby's not quite ready to be an offensive hub. We're trying to get him better at it, but again, he has the 8 turnovers. He's still working it out. But with Jokic, you give him the ball at the three-point line, free throw line, at the elbow. Doesn't matter where he gets the ball. You can let him bring it up in the half court. He's just going to put his shoulder into somebody and back his way down to the free throw line. Where with Wemby, he can't. All of his teammates were getting better at passing him the ball in the post, and then Wemby's getting better at being able to seal off his defender and make himself available for that post pass. Where with Jokic, he just seals his defender the fuck off. He has a lot of players on his team that know where he likes the ball, and they know how to throw entry passes. Where with Wemby, like I was saying, he's not able to seal his man off because they have smaller guys on him. They get that leverage. They're able to come around and stop him from getting that seal and being able to catch that entry pass in the post. So that's one thing for Wemby to work on. But again, like I was saying earlier, that just comes back to us running a better half-court offense, run Wemby off a down screen and let him catch the ball at the free throw line. Let De'Aaron Fox get a handoff from Wemby. Let's find a way to use De'Aaron Fox's speed in the half court offense because De'Aaron does have the 6 turnovers. He is 5 for 14. It's not a good game for De'Aaron Fox. He'd be the first person to tell us he played a bad game. But with that being said, we can use him better in the offense. Same thing with Wemby. We can run more plays to get them in better spots to be efficient offensively. But I mean, Wemby shoots 50% from the field, 31 points, 15 rebounds, and 10 assists. And if we ask Wemby, he'd probably say this was a terrible game for me. I wouldn't go that far, but the 8 turnovers, I mean, for your 2 star players to have 14 turnovers between the two of them, it's just inexcusable. No matter how great you play offensively, having 8 and 6 turnovers between your 2 star players, that's going to lose you a whole bunch of playoff games. But other than that, Wemby looked pretty great out there. He took 7 threes this game. He took 9 threes last game and 9 threes the game before that. I don't think Wemby's going to turn into an insanely high volume 3-point shooter again. But I would like him to average maybe 5 or 6 threes per game. The first 5 or 6 games, we're making it just an insane point of emphasis. Get Wemby the ball in the paint. Get him the ball in the paint. Even if he has a wide open 3-point shot, they were like, just get it in the paint, get it in the paint every single time. So teams are trying to take that away now. I was noticing in the first 5 or 6 games, Wemby was going to his pump fake from the 3-point line, and people just weren't biting on it because they knew this guy's just trying to get in the paint. This guy doesn't really want to shoot 3 balls right now. That's not how the offense is designed. But now, with Wemby taking 9 threes, 9 threes, 7 threes this game, again, I don't think he should be just a high volume 3-point shooter where he's shooting 10 threes per game, but I do like him taking a higher volume of threes these last 3 games. That way, next game, he's going to hit his 3-point pump fake. Someone's going to fly by him, and he's getting right back into the paint. I think I said it earlier with the 8 turnovers. The thing I noticed with Wemby the most, he can usually beat that first defender off the dribble, so he beats that first defender, and now he's going into the paint at 100 miles an hour, and he just can't slow himself down. There were a couple of charging fouls on him. He'll kind of get into the paint. He doesn't know if he should pass it out or if he should go up for a finish. And that's kind of the next step in Victor Wembanyama's game. When you look at like a De'Aaron Fox will come off that screen. He's going 100 miles an hour, then Euro step, decel step, floater. He has all sorts of moves to go to once he's already in the paint. Kind of the same thing with Stephon Castle. They do a good job of controlling themselves, similar to Dylan Harper as well. Those guys can go 100 miles an hour, then hit the brakes and decide what move to make once they're already in the paint. Where with Wemby, let me know if y'all have noticed this as well, but I'll notice him beat the first guy off the dribble, so that's good. But then he blows by, and I see him out of control a lot of the time. He's out of control a lot of the time once he gets into the paint, and that's just the next thing for Wemby to work on. Last season, he wasn't really breaking guys down off the dribble and getting into the paint as well as he is this season. So this season, now that he's beating guys off the dribble, the next step for him is to find out how to make that second play once you beat that guy off the dribble. Again, not a good game for De'Aaron Fox. I'm sure he'd say the same thing. But back to my point, we need to run a better half-court offense and use De'Aaron Fox's speed better in our half-court offense, and that kind of starts with Mitch Johnson drawing up some plays to better use him, and I think we will get there. Stephon Castle was pretty great. I mean, he shoots fucking like 55% from the field, 9 for 16, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. He has the 2 turnovers. Castle was +8. He was our only player with a positive plus-minus. So Stephon Castle was great out there. He's still been getting these double-digit assists, but he only had 2 turnovers last game. Two turnovers this game, so he's getting better at running the offense and cutting down on those turnovers. I'm kind of getting torn at this point. I feel like De'Aaron Fox should still be the one initiating our offense and being the lead guard, but he's still getting kind of more used to how our offense runs, where Stephon Castle is kind of used to everything, and he's able to give us double-digit assists and still keep the turnovers low. So that's really impressive for Stephon Castle. A lot of his dimes were coming just from getting into the paint, drop it off for Wemby, get into the paint and throw lobs to Luke Cornett. He had at least 4 or 5 assists just to Cornett or Wemby. So that's kind of the next step for Stephon Castle, is coming off the screen and roll. A lot of the times that lob pass will be there, but he's still learning how to make that second, third, fourth read. He's still getting better as a point guard, and it's really impressive because he's already given us double-digit assists, I think 4 games in a row at this point. So I'm kind of torn. I mean, I feel like De'Aaron Fox is better with the ball in his hands. That would give Stephon Castle even more energy to play off the ball, and I feel like that's probably where he's best suited. But he's 0 for 3 from 3, so he hasn't really gotten his 3-point shot to a level where he's extra effective off the ball. That 3 ball is kind of what would be holding him back. Keldon Johnson comes in. He has the 9 rebounds, 6 points, 25 minutes, only 1 turnover, 2 steals. I've just been loving Keldon this season. He's an absolute dog out there. We put him in that role off the bench where he's just in an energy role. We don't need you to score a bunch of points. We just need you to come in and play physical defense, play physical on offense, get us a fuckload of rebounds, which he's been doing. And there's going to be games where he scores 20 points, where he's just hot out there. And yeah, I just love what we've gotten for Keldon. He shoots 33% from the field in this game, but again, we don't really have him out there for his shooting. It's more for his energy. He's been doing a great job with bringing the energy. Luke Cornett is 6 for 6. I don't think he missed any shots last game either, so he has 12 points. 0 rebounds in 22 minutes. That's honestly unexcusable. I don't know how that happens. That's spectacular, but we need some rebounds from you out there, Luke Cornett. I guess Keldon Johnson was just grabbing all the rebounds out there. But the 12 points, 0 rebounds. Luke Cornett's been great for us just defensively, protecting the rim, being that role man. Another thing I noticed with Luke Cornett, once he catches the ball in the pick and roll, he's really good at making that read to kick it out to the corner, go up himself, dunk the ball, maybe shoot one of his little floaters. Luke Cornett's basketball IQ has been great for us. Julian Champagnie plays 20 minutes. He's 2 for 3 from 3. He was 0 for 5 last game, but he's not going to do that every single game. So Champagnie's fine out there. I'm worried about Jeremy Sohan. He plays 6 minutes this game. I mean, fuck, he's probably going to get traded, to be honest with you guys. We didn't extend him on his contract. If we were going to keep Jeremy, I think we would have extended his contract. That's what I think. And then he played 10 minutes last game. He played 6 minutes this game. I don't know if something's happening behind the scenes where he's getting into it with the coaching staff. That doesn't sound very much like Jeremy Sohan at all. There's no injury that I know about with Sohan, so I don't know what we're doing. He played 10 minutes last game, 6 minutes this game. If we're planning on trading him, I think we want to get him more minutes out there and raise up his trade value. But I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with Jeremy Sohan, to be honest. I think he provides us excellent defense. He's probably our second or third best defender behind Wembanyama and Stephon Castle. So he gives us so much defensively when he's out there. He gives us great playmaking and finishing as a role man out there. So yeah, I don't know if Luke Cornett. It seems like Luke Cornett just took Jeremy Sohan's job. We were liking Keldon Johnson out there more than Jeremy Sohan, and that would not have been the case last year. So with us not extending Jeremy Sohan and with us playing him, these really small amount of minutes since he's gotten back, it seems like he's probably going to be traded. We're still missing Dylan Harper out there really bad. He's just another really smart playmaker. He was pretty high turnover when he was out there for his first couple of games of the season, but I wish he was out there just to further develop. But we should see Dylan Harper back there in probably December. So I wouldn't say it was a horrible game for us. We played a decent game. We were really high turnovers, and that's kind of what always bites us. But I feel like our main thing is just our lack of motion on offense. That leads to the turnovers. That leads to Golden State getting out and shooting open 3 balls, and then Steph Curry just goes off for 46 points. So we just have to just shake the Warriors' hand on this one, honestly. We need more from Mitch Johnson coaching-wise. We need more motion on offense. That's the main thing that just kills us, is everyone just standing around, and we don't really have an offensive system. The games we have won so far, it's usually just Wemby playing great, just Stephon Castle, Vassell, just everyone shooting very well out there. But again, we need more motion on offense. I want us to have more of an offensive system, because I don't really know what our offensive system is right now at this point. But please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 7 million subscribers. Let me know what you thought about the Spurs' performance, if you agree with me as far as our lack of motion offense hurting us. And then I don't think I even said it. We're the worst team in the NBA as far as defending threes. We allow 39% from three, so damn near 40%. 14 3-pointers made on average is what we're averaging so far this season as a team. So we're one of the worst teams in the NBA at defending the three ball, and that's pretty concerning as well because Wemby's going to lock down the paint. Next thing is guarding those 3-point shooters, and we've done a very poor job so far up to this point in the season. But please like and subscribe. Help me get to 7 million subscribers, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.